Hi there, my name is Kevin. I'm an avid gamer, and today that's exactly what I'd like to talk to you about. For some, video games are an art form, an escape from life's pressures and stresses. A harmless pastime, a happy place, if you will. But for others, however, it is a source of violence, crime, and destruction. But where do these vastly different views of violent video games come from? It's an important question to ask. Well, that is one of the questions I will try to answer today. And I want to explore how each of these extreme sides, looks and views violent video games. And how they're trying to come together and make the world a better place. Now, there exist many problems in our society, and among these happen to be violence and destruction. The United States and the world at large were shocked and appalled by shootings like Columbine and Parkland. A new deadly phenomenon of school shootings and gun violence in the United States all of a sudden seemed very prevalent. And many pointed to violent video games as the main cause. And in 2000, a year after Columbine, psychologists from the APA stated that 2 studies revealed that, quote, even a brief exposure to video games can temporarily increase aggressive behavior in all types of participants, end quote. Now, that can be pretty alarming. Now, because if this exposure to video games, increases aggressive behavior, that's cause for violent actions. And it's even more alarming when the Pew Research Center reports that 72% of all teens play video games. And what's more is that they also report that 84% of all teen boys play video games, and that's a huge number of young, impressionable minds that are exposed to such violence. And, that would seem a problem to many, and many solutions have been suggested to solve that problem. The Chicago Tribune made a report in 2019 after an increase of automobile theft. The Chicago Police Department reported 218 vehicular carjackings just that year, which is a huge number for Chicago. In the same report by the Chicago Tribune, they describe how Democratic State Representative Marcus Evans has proposed a new bill that would limit the sale of video games, specifically those that cause psychological harm or depict violent acts such as car theft. And for Evans, this is his way of keeping his community safe. He wants to limit how much youth views this violence and then goes out and commits these acts. He wants to make his community better, and this is part of making his community better. And many people would agree with him. And after all, that's what we're all supposed to do in a healthy society. However, juxtapose that view of video games with one that puts video games in a much more positive light, violent or not. The Association for Psychological Science, or the APS, reported on a study conducted in 2019. 275 participants played 2 versions of a game, one more difficult and violent, and the other less difficult and violent. They then took a survey to assess their moods and behaviors after to see if they were more or less aggressive. And the researchers actually found that violent or not, it didn't change their moods or behaviors. And because of this study and many others like it, gamers do not see video games as the main source for this problem. And what's more is that Newsweek reported in 2019 on a new phenomenon. This being like celebrity philanthropists who support charities as celebrities. These are online influencers who support charities and use their massive fan bases to make lots of money and give it to these charities. So video games really have done plenty of good as well. Newsweek reported that in 2019, MatPat, a popular YouTuber and live video gamer, raised $20 million for St. Jude. Now that's a huge number. And there's so many other YouTubers that do this. Markiplier, another famous YouTuber, raised $2 million. That same report by Newsweek. Those are huge numbers. And for a charity like St. Jude that doesn't take money from the parents or the children that they're helping, that's huge for them. That's huge, especially when you consider that it takes $1 billion for them to run their facilities every year. So really what's left is two sides aiming for the same goal, and that's to better society at the end of the day. One does it through charity, one is trying to ban harmful content so their youths are not subjected to it and then go out and commit those acts. And that's what we're supposed to do at the end of the day. We're supposed to better society in the way that we see fit, morally right. And I think that's something we can all get behind at the end of the day. Thank you.